I want to maybe say I'm very happy to express these my feelings. As I thank my pastor for the great work that he has been doing. And I know that the Bible says for anything that God has started in your life or to do through your life, you shall always take it until the end. I come from Christian Center, but I'm talking about servant who has always been in the front of doing great things to ensure that the gospel comes to our city. Pastor King Mwaka, the first time I met the servant of God was when he came to our school. I think by then I was still a very young boy, not born again. He came even when he was sick. And the way he ministered the word of God to the students, I was able to get the conviction that made me to be where I am right now. Right now, I'm a servant of God and I ran a ministry. When I came out from school to face the challenge in the community as a servant of God and as a believer, I discovered that 70 to 80% of the crusades that have been coming to our city has been coming through him. And I view that as something which is very important as far as opening the door to the gospel to come in our city. Our city currently is having a lot of people, and these people need the gospel. And this servant of God has always been in the front to coordinate ministers from different countries to come and organize big and mega crusades. I want to hint more on the last crusade, which was conducted, I think, a month. This crusade, which was conducted by Pastor David from United States of America. That was one of the crusades that I think was very successful. It was highly attended, and a lot of people gave their lives to God. A lot of people were delivered, both in the body and in the soul. A lot of people were motivated. If I remember during the time for the conference which I attended, a lot of people were really transformed because of the messages that was being ministered to them. The other side of the story, which I really want to talk about, is about the fight which this crusade went through. The most disappointing part of it is that the people who are fighting this crusade were the fellow brothers and sisters in the service of God who were not in the knowledge of how God was working. But I thank God that it was the will of God that came to pass. And my advice is, as long as we are going to be servants of God, let us align our interest with the will of God. Let us try to understand what is it in the mind of God before we can bring in our interest, which most of the time is influenced by our evil desires. I also want to say that the grace of God upon Pastor Mwaka King is something that we cannot undermine. Let us work together as servants to ensure that the will of God is done.